Another game, another 2 points for the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, what a fantastic and fun hockey game that was to watch. Oh, what a season they're having. The Montreal Canadiens defeat the Anaheim Ducks 4-1, which puts their record to 30, 18, and 6 on the season, still sitting in that third spot in the Atlantic Division, just 1 point behind the Leafs and 1 point ahead of the Boston Bruins. Woo! I love it, and I love the makeup of this team from top to bottom. I'm going to gush here a little bit because I'm sitting here watching the game last night. It's so hard to believe that we have Shea Weber, Canada's #1 defenseman in the Olympics and World Cup. We have Carey Price, Canada's #1 goalie in the Olympics and World Cup, one of the best goalies in the world, and he's playing like it right now. Shea Weber's having a fantastic season too, by the way, ever since he came back from his injury. Absolutely incredible defensively and offensively, putting up numbers. And then we have Ty Domi's son, Max, who is disgusting out there, dangling in a phone booth a bunch of different times last night. He is so skilled, so fun to watch. And of course, former Halifax Moosehead and Memorial Cup champion, Jonathan Drouin. And plenty of other awesome players after that point. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, our young future elite #1 center. And all on lovely contracts. Drouin at 5.5. Domi at 3.15 for a couple years. Weber, a very fair 7.8 million. Long-term till he retires. Carey Price is obviously paid quite a bit, but he is worth it. And he's ours for the long term. Ah, man. Love this team. Now, to get into the game. The first goal of the game was in the first period, and what a first period it was. The Montreal Canadiens were absolutely flying. That finish line of Lehkonen, Yoel Armia, and Kotkaniemi was incredible. And the way this line is playing for the last few games has been incredibly impressive. And a lot of the credit obviously goes to Kotkaniemi, his smarts, putting the pucks in areas for his teammates to have success, but it cannot go without mentioning the forechecking ability of Artturi Lehkonen and Yoel Armia. Artturi Lehkonen, it's not as noticeable, but he is such a fantastic and smart player, anticipating plays, forechecking and retrieving pucks. But lately, Yoel Armia has been incredibly noticeable, getting a ton of scoring chances, and these are eventually leading to goals for the Montreal Canadiens. His forechecking ability and also his ability to retrieve pucks, just like Lehkonen, is so impressive. And Armia is so good in tight, in open ice, keeping plays alive and putting pucks into areas that will eventually lead to those scoring chances. And it happened yet again later in the first period. But the first goal was from Brendan Gallagher. He had ended up with 2 on the night. He's now our leading goal scorer, on pace for a career year in terms of goal scoring. And what a fantastic player he is. What a pass it was as well from Jonathan Drouin, who probably had maybe his best game as a Canadian. And I was a tad bit critical of him in my last video. But the thing is I'm really trying my best not to be a homer and not to just constantly be saying good things about the team, because you kind of have to have a balance. But the thing is, there's not many bad things to say about the Habs lately, so you really have to dig. And Jonathan Drouin played a fantastic hockey game last night. He was flying out there, using his speed, using his skill, and twice he put the puck onto Brendan Gallagher's stick and put it on a platter for him, and Brendan Gallagher didn't waste those opportunities, sniping the both of them. Absolutely lethal snipes on Chad Johnson of the Anaheim Ducks. And of course, there was that goal that was thanks to an incredible shift from that finish line. Riley also picked up an assist on it, but Armia gets the puck on net, and Kotkaniemi finishes it off, and he has now officially had a better rookie season than Alexander Barkov. Unbelievable, this kid. Unbelievable. And Pierre Lebrun from TSN had a very good point in the intermission show that the break, the All-Star break, and that 5-day break had an incredible effect on Kotkaniemi. Prior to the season started, I was one of the people thinking that Kotkaniemi would get sent back to Finland. And my main reasoning for that, it wasn't that I didn't think he was ready to play in the NHL. He definitely in preseason, he looked very comfortable. But my reasoning for thinking that was that an 82-game season is incredibly long, incredibly tough on the body, especially for a guy as young as him. And but he's handling it very well, and he put that break to good use. Whatever he did, exercised or relaxed or whatever he did, it's working. He looks fantastic since the break. What he is doing, as young as he is unbelievably impressive. And his development, the way Claude Julien is developing this guy, putting him with his countrymen, putting him on that third line, giving him proper line matchups and starts on the ice has been very good, and Julien deserves some credit for that as well. Lots to look forward to with Kotkaniemi. Second period, Getzlaf gets one, so it is 3-1 for the Montreal Canadiens at that point, and we go into the third, and then Drouin picks up another assist. 3 assists on the night for Drouin, and it's Deneau finishing the play. Had to review there because they did not realize the puck went in. Another goal for Deneau. Another guy on pace for a career year. This is, one of the youngest teams in the league, and what they're doing. They're sitting now 8th in the NHL as one of the youngest teams in the NHL. Oh, man, Bergevin is doing a fantastic job with this hockey team. Man. So, one thing I have to point out here, is it just me, or every freaking time they showed Ryan Getzlaf on the bench? He's one of my favorite players, by the way. Fantastic player, even into his mid-30s. He's really damn good. But every time they show him on the bench, he's absolutely blowing rockets out of his nose. It's just rank. But anyway, I just thought that was funny. Now, a couple quick notes here. The Bell Center atmosphere last night was incredible. Love hearing those Ole chants. Ole, 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 ole. Man. And the other thing, Hudon is finally getting a very serious chance with Byron out with what's likely a long-term injury. Hudon's going to get a very serious look in this team's top 9. So will Matt Pekka, and the two of these guys, but specifically, no, actually, you know what? Honestly, the two of them, about the same evenly, played incredible last night. They played with Max Domi, who looked very good. That line looked good, but Hudon had a couple moments where he was stick handling and getting the puck and driving the net, and he could have scored a couple times. And Pekka as well. A couple slick moves from Pekka. So good to see those guys stepping up when they are needed, and we're going to need them going forward because we have Byron out. Shaw is still injured, but he likely will be back soon. But until then, Hudon and Pekka are going to get some good looks. So it's nice to see them finally looking good out there in terms of the eye test. I was a little unimpressed with Hudon prior to the game against the Ducks last night. So hopefully he can take that momentum and run with it. Also very good to see Kenny Agostino back in the lineup for the Montreal Canadiens. I love this guy as a player. He works so hard out there. He puts the pucks in good spots, and he forechecks hard constantly. The amount of times he has used his speed and forechecking ability to dump a puck in and then be the one to retrieve it has been very impressive. And he'll also throw the body. I love when this guy's in the lineup on our fourth line. Another great find from Marc Bergevin. So, on the night, 32 to 25 shots for Montreal. They get bested in the face-off dot by quite a bit. 58% the Ducks were, but that's going to happen when you're facing Getzlaf and Ryan Kesler. Montreal was 1 for 1 on the PK. They were very well disciplined last night against the Ducks, which was good to see because they weren't very disciplined in their last game against the Oilers. The Habs were 0 for 3 on the power play, but it looked very, very good. Their formation seems a lot better. They're quick passes, they're moving their feet, They're definitely more willing to move the puck down low, which is great to see. They're spreading out the penalty killers, and they are shooting the puck. Where they have these players lined up now on both power play units makes way much more sense than what it was early in the season. Max Domi and Jonathan Drouin being split up is very good. They're two similar players on the power play, so to have those two playmakers on separate units is very good. Kotkaniemi on that right half wall, showing that he's a shooting option, and also being able to play make from that area has been very beneficial to him. This is where he has looked the best on the power play so far, and that's making Weber a lot more accessible as well. And yeah, so loving the way the power play looks despite them not getting on the board last night. So we have Winnipeg next, and then Toronto. The thing is about this game against the Ducks, as fun as it was to watch, the Ducks have lately been one of the worst teams in the NHL. They've been very bad. Not to say that that's truly who they are, but lately they have been quite bad out there. So we're going from dominating one of the subpar teams this year to then playing against two of the absolute best teams in the league this year in Winnipeg and the Toronto Maple Leafs. So the Habs cannot get their heads up too high after that win against the Ducks. They have some very serious tests coming up against the Jets and the Leafs, so it would be good to get some points out of those two games. I cannot wait for both of these two games this week. It's going to be a fun end to the week for the Montreal Canadiens. And of course, some quick news here. Tatar missed the game against the Ducks. He missed the game with a flu. Not sure how long he'll be out, but it's looking like it'll be short term. Be good to get him back in the lineup as well. That's another reason why Hudon and Pekka had some chances last night. That's about it, guys. If you like my videos, please subscribe, and you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ScotianCanadien. Get in on the discussion down below. Ask some questions. I didn't really have too many in the last video. Please ask some questions, and I'll try to answer them in the next video. Cheers, guys. Go Habs, go, baby. Woo!